turn to Anne before finding.
First, I want that they close the Wiesbaden place because it's where my daughter went first and other French youth. It's where they seduce the young by philosophy, choirs, singing and so on. So it is a place where they do their work, the first work. It is to attract them. So I want Wiesbaden, thinking of Jeremiah, to be closed. That's a fair. And I want that they make public the danger of the movement in France. It's not public. Nobody knows about this movement. Cheminade, they don't know about Cheminade, just the family. So first when it's happened, we don't know what is it, Cheminade, and Solidarité and Progrès movement. So it must be public. And if the French government oblige Cheminade to pay the huge debt towards the government, he has a big debt. If he is obliged to pay, he will have no money, and maybe they will close. That's my big wish.
It's closing Wiesbaden.
And closing and Cheminade shut.
Forbidden policy.
And forbidden politism, forbidden publicity about this movement.
To publicize the movement itself.
But is it possible to forbid proselytism?
Proselytism.
Is it possible?
I don't know.
To further explore the possibilities of how this might be a movement that is placed outside the law, as in the German legal code of an extreme political movement. Thank you. And finally, Aglaja?
Yes. Sure. The case, what happened to Jeremiah, what happened in the last hours should be reopened, certainly. I mean, it's very strange to close a case where you, even though apparently nobody knows where was he in the last hours. There are many indications that he was not at the place where supposedly he was, but he rather was possibly at the AAR office. Were there psycho-sessions? Yeah. Was he victimized by psycho-sessions? What was going on? We know none of this. So this should be investigated. Furthermore, as far as the ongoing operations are concerned, I think it is important that the existing laws are applied. We do not even need any additional laws. We need to apply those laws that exist, which actually prohibit that people are exploited in the way many people are exploited, working day and night, 7 days a week, not on a voluntary basis, but over months and years and decades sometimes. This is against every law. So this should be investigated. And finally, this should no longer be considered as a question of religion, of cults, in the way that it is a matter of the instances which are dealing with young people, because not only young people are affected, everybody is affected. Increasingly the elderly are affected because they are trying to take their money away. As all destructive groups tend to do, they going after the young people, but also after the elderly people. And of course, it's a matter which affects all of society. Yeah? So I think these destructive cults are not a matter to be left to the churches to discuss if this is a cult or not. Yeah? But it's a problem for society as a whole, and should be treated in an appropriate way.
Thank you. And thank you to all family members and indeed ex-members themselves who were brave enough to come onto camera and speak about this. And we also invite those of you who might be thinking along the same lines to get in contact with either the Justice for Jeremiah Forum or one of the other Larouche FactNet outlets. Just by way of conclusion, it seems like what we were hearing from a number of different experiences is that the Larouche organization is in fact wolves in sheep's clothing. I believe that this is something that is deeply consonant with the movement away from classic fascist methods towards something that might be considered neo-fascism. So I will conclude just by reading two quotations, one from perhaps the most famous neo-fascist ideologue from 1962, Maurice Bardèche, who argued that the single party, the secret police, the public displays of Caesarism, even the presence of a Führer, are not necessarily attributes of fascism, let alone the reactionary thrust of political alliances. The famous fascist methods are constantly revised and will continue to be revised. More important than the mechanism is the idea which fascism has created for itself, with another name, another face, and nothing which betrays the projection from the past. As Pierre-André Taguieff has said, vigilance is not simply a game of recognizing something that we remember from the past. Indeed, Lyndon LaRouche's own spin on the Bardèche quote I just gave you is a good place for us to end, and is rather more pithy. It is not necessary to wear a brown shirt to be a fascist, wrote Lyndon LaRouche in 1978. It is not necessary to wear a swastika to be a fascist. It is not necessary to call oneself a fascist to be one. It is just necessary. Thank you very much.